Welcome. I'm Patty McCarthy, the library's development director, and you are at the 13th annual Iowa City Spells, which is, yes, thank you, an amazing feat about to be copied by the public library in, is it St. Paul? St. Paul. Bill? We have given instruction to public libraries across the United States as to how to put on a spelling bee. And it's quite fun to be able to do that, to help other libraries raise some money. So this is the adult spelling bee, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Friends Foundation. I do thank everyone for joining us, and those who are joining us at home. Hi, boys, you still have to go to bed at 9:30 if mom and dad are not yet home. Okay? And I thank everyone who's brought books for our used bookstore, the Bookend, to be sold to benefit the library. We've got a nice audience here and more folks coming in. So tonight you will be enjoying a competition between 9 teams who will be vying for this gorgeous trophy that grows each year thanks to those good folks at Harry's Custom Trophies who just feel pretty strongly about supporting the library and making it really worth your while to take home this awesome trophy. The winners, or the first 3 placing teams, will also receive gift certificates donated by Prairie Lights Books and or the Bookend, our own bookstore. And all of the proceeds raised by the team sponsors for Iowa City Spells are able to be given to the library to purchase new materials thanks to the generosity of Hans Jewelers, which is an incredible sponsor of this event. Their contribution is just incredible, as is that of Bill Nusser, who is the owner of Hans Jewelers and is our master of ceremonies for the evening. So thank you, Bill, for your generosity. I turn it over to you. I'll leave this with you.
Oh, thanks. Well, I have the easy job. And that's how Patty got the money out of Hans Jewelers, is she had me do this, and I was so awestruck by the personal publicity that I figured I better pay for it next time. So that's how that happened. And we were thinking the other day about how much money this has raised, and Spelling Bee has raised almost, or somewhere around $100,000 for the collection. And that money all goes to audio, visual materials, written materials, everything in the collection, which is just a fantastic thing, I think. So congratulations to all of you for making that possible. So here we are, 2010, 13 years after the beginning, and some people have been here since the beginning. And we're at the 13th annual Spelling Bee, and it's still going strong. We have a lot of things competing with us tonight, but we still have a big room full of people. For those of you watching on television that can't see everybody in here, we have a fire going on down the street. We have the chamber banquet going on, and there's a basketball game tonight too, I believe. So all these people, there are a lot of Go Hawks in the crowd, and a lot of these people here would have been doing other things, hopefully not fighting fires, if they were not here. So we appreciate everybody's contribution. I want to introduce people as usual, and I want to introduce our pronouncers, and we'd like to welcome our word announcer, who is the lovely and talented Joan Kerr, and she's and everybody knows Joan. She's of the international programs at the University of Iowa, and she's also the host of the new monthly television and radio program called World Canvas, and it's one Friday every month. It's at the Senate chamber of the in the old Capitol. And when per month is it? Was it like
the
first?
next one? It's not the same Friday. It's always a Friday. The next one is March 5th.
Always a Friday. The next one's March 5th, and she's a tremendous interviewer and has a great voice. So we're and sense of elocution. So we're happy to have her. We're also happy to have again with us Ben Kiefer of Iowa Public Radio, host of Java Blend. He's sporting a beard. This is
just for you, Bill.
Just for us to make you look more knowledgeable, and you'll be announcing the spelling bee words that the audience will participate in, and so he's if you want to suck up to anybody, he's the guy. And we have our judges, our trusty judges, Sheldon Kurtz, of the University of Iowa law professor, And he is joined by his colleague at the law school, Todd Pettis. And they will determine whether the words have been correctly spelled, and they will make sure that all the rules are being followed, and they're hardcore. So, and many of you know that. And look at Shelley, he's just waiting for you to violate something. Our timekeeper, of course, is Susan Craig. I don't know what, you see her around the library a lot. I guess she's library director, and she's right here. She's also very hardcore. And the lovely and talented and audible Maeve Clark, who is our Foley artist, and she's been with us on the spelling bee forever, and love her. And finally, I'd like to thank Joan Burns, who isn't in the, oh, there she is, and Aaron Johnson, Clickguard, and Don Thompson of the library. You both are here. But yeah, there you go. The Library Foundation Board of Directors for their help. They help organize this and put it all together. We have two special sponsors tonight that I'd like to thank, and I'll thank one of them at least repeatedly. And as Quality Care and Dean Moore, they stepped up to the table and provided money to make sure that this went over the top in terms of fundraising. And so we're really grateful for Quality Care,
Should we get
Nature
clarification? Do we
Care.
give each one?
Yeah.
Word definition, sentence,
And
then
Ann
word.
Nusser Rizzo contributed some of our late parents' money to this event too at the last minute, and so we're grateful to her in honor of my parents, Margaret and William Nusser Sr. So proud of that. All right, now the teams will spell in alphabetical order by team names, and they will use the microphones that are on their sides of the room. While one team is spelling, the other will be going up to them, will be coming up to the microphone to be ready. So, you guys are really good at this about keeping the flow going. And Joan and Don will help the teams track when they need to get to the mic. So we'll clear all the riffraff out of the way. And then I'd like to have Shelley, if you would, read the rules that are relevant for us tonight.
Well, we're going to split that effort here.
Okay. Oh, great. Both of you. The Shelley and Todd show. Okay, good.
So let me start off by pointing out that to help ensure that each member of each team has at least one chance to spell, the first round is a complete rotation of potentially all three members of the competing teams. During the first round, a team can misspell one word and still remain in the competition. However, if a team misspells a second word during this first round, that team is eliminated, even if team member number 3 has not yet spelled. The first round offers each team member the opportunity to spell once if no words are misspelled.
The pronouncer will pronounce the word, give the definition of the word, use it in a sentence, and pronounce it once more. Words used in Iowa City Spells will be selected from the 2010 Iowa City Spells Official Study Guide and Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, the 11th edition.
Thank you.
And then here's some good news now. Team members may collaborate on the spelling of the word, but the designated speller must begin spelling within 20 seconds and completely spell the word in 60 seconds.
Team members may ask for one additional pronunciation of the word, but no more. And when you spell the word correctly, we will deliver that news in person by telling you that it's correct. If it's incorrect, we will let the machine here deliver the bad news.
Not a good sound. Okay, great. Got that. And that's it?
That's it for now.
Right, we haven't, we'll talk
We'll
about
have more
Rule 10
later.
when we get to
Yeah.
it, right? All right, so the judges will tell you whether you've correctly spelled the word or not, and not the pronouncer, so save Joan. Anyway, throughout the team competition, Ben Kiefer will give audience words for you to spell, and the winner of the audience competition will be determined and announced prior to the spell-off between the final two teams. So we'll get these words done, which, I'll need help, Ben, to make sure that we get them all in before the last round. And then, so you'll know before we go into final competition, which one of you won. So I'm going to introduce the first, as the teams come up, I'm going to introduce the teams, and we're going to start with round 1 now, which, remember, each person spells in round 1, and one person can miss a word. 2 people missing a word means you're out. So our first team is Spellbound. And they are sponsored by Bradley and Riley. Bradley and Riley, like Spellbound, right here. And if you'd like to come up to the microphone right here. And this team has, this is their 6th year spelling. They've been spelling since 2005. And they are comprised of Emily Bennett, who is how many times have you spelled, Emily?
I think 4 or 5.
I think maybe more. She is an Iowa City Public Library volunteer, and she's always up for a team. She's been on a number of teams before. She has been retired for many years, she says, and she used to teach mathematics in the Iowa City schools. And Carolyn Dieterle and she were on the same team last year, and well, she's been a lifelong learner and continues to. You really do study everything, don't you, Emily? You certainly try, right. And then we have Carolyn Dieterle, and Carolyn is, she joined the team, last year was your first year, wasn't it, Carolyn? Yes. And she saw a notice at the library and just followed up on it, which was great. And she is the daily Iowan librarian, and she was the secretary for the New Pioneer Board of Directors also. And one of the most unusual things about her is that she tries to eschew surplusage. And I asked her in a return email whether that means she also tries to eschew obfuscation also, and to which she replied, yes. And then we have another perennial speller, Dan Daly. Dan is newly retired, and he is, for the last 24 years, he was the librarian for, is it IIHR, which is Hydro Science and Engineering. And at present, he's volunteering for Table to Table, Meals on Wheels, and Shelter House. So what a good man you are. This team was cobbled together by the development director from unassociated library supporters and spelling enthusiasts, which is how he describes his team, which I think they are too. And the most interesting thing about Dan is that there are 7,578 RPM records in his basement. 7,500, and books in every room of the house. Those are the 78. That's like that goes around 1 million times a second. Yeah, yeah, I remember those. All right, so go ahead and spell your first word.
Okay. Enamor, to inflame with love, usually used in the passive with of. His feelings of enamor for the woman fueled his quick return. Enamor.
Enamor, E-N-A-M-O-R, enamor.
That's correct.
Very good. All right, way to go. Thank you very much. Excellent. The next team up are the Keystone Kiwanians.
We're told that the audience would like to have a mic up front so they can hear it.
Is this one on?
We have technical difficulties.
Not working? Yeah.
I think the
I
team's
know
maybe
him.
having trouble hearing.
Yeah, no, I understand. He's got me hooked up to something. So,
It's live, but maybe too low.
yeah. I'll put it up closer. Can you hear better if it's here?
It's not so much us as the team, they can't.
I tell you what, I'll look at you. Maybe that will help. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Introductions? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I want to introduce everybody. I want to introduce Duke McGrath, who, actually this team, the Keystone Kiwanians, this is their 9th year. They've been spelling since 2002. Duke has been involved with the library a lot, and Duke's team, which was a different team, it was the Savants, wasn't it? Yes. Won in 2007, and he's been spelling for 8 years. He thinks, and I think that's right. In real life, he's a financial planner and retirement advisor. And he's, one of the most interesting things about him is he's a 12-time participant in Milwaukee Brewers fantasy baseball camp. So you go Duke. And I asked him about the team foundation, and he said basically you were the first 3 to volunteer. And we have Kathy Schweer, who is a perennial speller with us also. She became involved because Shaner Magallanes, who is the president of the Old Capital Kiwanis, encouraged the club to support the library. I think he was on the library board at that time, and so he coerced her, and she's been a member of the the old Capital Kiwanis, the Killer Bees, or excuse me, the Keystone Kiwanians. Sorry, Keystone Kiwanians. All those K's is so hard. And she is currently the president of the old Capital Kiwanians. And she's a retired dean of nursing. She works part-time for H&R Block during the tax season. She's a volunteer leader for the Arthritis Foundation water exercise program. She's president of the Kiwanis, and she's on the Michigan committee of her church, and she likes playing bridge, and she has 3 sons and 4 grandchildren. I don't know where you find time for that, but you do. And one of the most interesting things about her is that when she was a child, she and her sister used to play school in the summer. And you would look up difficult words trying to stump each other, which I can relate to that. And so anyway, we're happy to have you. Now, Mike, I don't know as much about you as I should. I know you're a new Kiwanian, right?
I'm a new Kiwanian. I was in a car accident in '95, and I'm in here pretty much after all my rehabilitation.
That's fabulous. So Mike has had a traumatic brain injury, and he's here with us. So we're delighted to have you. So Keystone Kiwanians, have at it.
Okay, your word is carburetor. A mechanical apparatus for pre-mixing vaporized fuel and air in proper proportions and supplying the mixture to an internal combustion engine. The carburetor on my car broke. Carburetor.
Carburetor. CARBARTR.
You have to say carburetor again.
Sorry.
Okay, that is incorrect. And technically, you have to say the word, spell it, and then say it again. So you have until you say it again to correct too. Anyway, thank you. The next team, this is a daunting group of people here. These are the Kirkwood Killer Bees, who I tried to make the Keystone Kiwanians. They are the reigning champions of the spelling bee from last year. They are 5-time winners, and they have been participating in the spelling bee for all 13 years of the competition. Have any of you been on the team for the whole time? No? I am surprised. But almost, because Betty Adams has been spelling for 11 years, isn't that right?
I think all but 2.
Yeah, all but 2, which is amazing. And she was she was actually volunteered the first year, and here she's on this incredible winning team. And what she does is manage the Iowa City campus of Kirkwood Community College, an easy job. And she and Missy are both on the Kirkwood staff, and Bart is a spouse of a Kirkwood staff, being a dutiful spouse that he is, and which he and I were talking about how we do the best we can in that department. And she has been a band nerd for almost a half a century, and you currently play in a local woodwind quartet. Is that right?
Quintet.
Quintet. And what do you play?
The clarinet.
Clarinet. Is there an oboe in that?
Yes.
Oh, good.
It's a
'Cause I'm
standard woodwind quintet, flute, oboe, clarinet, horn, and bassoon, and we're called the Court Hill Woodwind Quintet. Some of you may have heard us.
Excellent. Where can we hear you?
We play at Kent Park every summer, and we've played at the hospital, local churches, we've played weddings. We'll go anywhere.
Excellent. Well, as a former oboist, I'm all for that. That's great. And so I asked her about what was interesting about her team, and she goes, I don't think there's anything that's interesting. We're all a bunch of geeks. So you can kill her later, you guys.
That's what my son tells me, that I'm the biggest nerd in the world.
Well, don't all of our children call us that. So next is Missy Molliston, who has been spelling for how many years, Missy?
I think this is my 7th.
And it's always luck when Missy's pregnant. She was pregnant with twins the first time they won.
Last year.
That was last year you were pregnant with twins. Oh, they're 4 months old. That's
Yes.
right. And so they won last year. And then you were pregnant the first time.
Oh, no, the second time.
Second time you won? Yeah. So we're not going to ask you, but I think your team's kind of counting on that. You are a library specialist at Kirkwood, which is right. And and you've been forever on these, and you watch the intensity in her face when she spells. It's pretty great. And then we have Bart Brown, and Bart is a computer programmer for the University of Iowa Center for Bioinformatics and Computational Biology. Did I get that? You got it. That's good. And we all know what that is, so I won't explain it. And basically, his wife knows Missy and teaches at Kirkwood, so that's why he's here, because she wasn't going to be here. And so we welcome you, Bart, to your first spelling bee. And so,
My third.
Oh, it's your third, really? Oh, that's. Where have I been? So spell away.
Okay, your word is beveled. Cut or shaped to a bevel. The book was cut so the pages were beveled. Beveled.
Beveled. B-E-V-E-L-E-D. Beveled.
Correct.
Very good. All right. The next team is L'équipe de rêve. L'équipe de rêve, which means the dream team, and I'm a terrible French pronouncer. It's sponsored by Pogo and Friends, and Pogo is an anonymous sponsor, and Pogo has sponsored a team for the spelling bee for the last 8 years, and they tend to be student teams. And this year, it's a group of City High seniors, all of you, right? And we have Tarek Abouissa. Tarek Abouissa, all right. And he is a senior at City High. He plans on studying neuroscience and music composition, which is, sounds like a no-brainer. And we have Irfan Bhatti, who is a City High senior also, and he plans on taking a year off to write a novel with Tarek. So we hope Tarek agrees. And we have Lucas Overham, who is a City High senior, and like most of us, has no idea of what he plans on doing next. And I think you're probably focused on graduating, aren't you? And so anyway, we welcome, well, actually, and both all of you, or just 2 of you have been here last year? All 3 of you. Okay, that's right, right. So they're veterans, and go ahead and have a try it first round.
Okay, your word is pampas, a South American grass often grown for ornament that has showy white panicles borne on tall stems. The pampas grass waved slowly in the wind. Pampas.
Pampas. P-A-M-P-A-S. Pampas.
Very good, very good. All right, we're looking for Little Village to come up, and Little Village has an anonymous sponsor, and we are happy for our anonymous sponsors. They're wonderful, and I'm sure that whoever this is just a lovely person, and we're grateful. We have. I guess I should start with the big guy, Andrew Sherburne, and he. I asked him why he was involved or how he got involved, and he said that because they didn't want to. It was through the generosity of their anonymous sponsor and the burning desire to embarrass themselves publicly, which I know plenty about that. And this is second year spelling, right? And he's the publisher of Little Village, and he's a documentary filmmaker. In fact, did you do this yourself? The YouTube? There's a YouTube of you and the flood, right? His house was in the Normandy Drive area in the flood, and it's a very interesting YouTube about you sort of fishing out things, and it just kind of brings back the horror of it all. But I'm surprised that you're not like killing yourself in this, but it's pretty amazing. And wasn't your wife pregnant then too, or?
We had a 2-week-old last. Oh, during the flood, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then last year, this baby was like, 2 weeks. Yeah. So you're looking a lot more rested, and we're glad to have you. He has hiked to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, so obviously he has the physical stamina for this. And he is missing his spell check here. Then we have Kent Williams, and Kent he writes the music reviews for the Little Village, and this is his second year spelling. And he writes software for image processing research at the University of Iowa Department of Psychiatry, which sounds like a real easy job. And the most interesting thing about Kent is his anagram for his full name, Norman Kent Williams, is know-it-all mannerism. And the amazing thing about that is that anagrams for people's names comprising words of 8 or more letters is exceedingly rare. So I sent you back an anagram. I hope you appreciated it. We can't mention it here. And what Kent says about his team I love is that none of us are able to exaggerate or tell a lie. Also, we can read minds, levitate, spin straw into gold, which he and I are on a consulting basis now, and bend tableware from a distance, which I think I can do that sometimes too. And then we have Matt Steele, and Matt is the web editor of Little Village Magazine, and I want to say that this is the only media team this year. So take that, Press Citizen and Gazette, who are not here tonight. And so we're really
spell.
They can, you're right. You're right. And you don't.
I saw the fire.
The fire's in here. Anyway, so Matt also runs a cafe for Oasis in the Studio Arts Building, which used to be Menards. So if you want to find Matt, you go as close to the lumber department, and he's right there. Anyway, we're happy to have you here, Matt, and good luck. Ready for your word?
Okay, your word is easel, a frame for supporting something. Her latest painting was still on the easel. Easel.
Easel. E-A-S-E-L. Easel.
Correct. Very good. All right, way to go. The next team, are you the Queen Bees or the Regal Bees?
The Regina Queen Bee.
The Regina Queen Bees. Oh, it sounds so regal. And they are coached. I mean, they are heavily coached. Their coach, Barb Riley, is in the back of the room. And with the and what's your other prop there, Barb? We want to see the other prop. And let's just hope. So she's going to be coaching her team throughout this whole thing. They're going to be watching her, eyes on her, while they spell. Christine Allgood is in the center, and she is a counselor at Regina, and she's counselor for grades 7 through 12. It's a pretty amazing range of people. She has 3 children herself, and we have Joanne Belknap on the right, who is an instructional technology teacher, and she's a great cook, I understand, and what instructional technology is, I didn't know, is that she matches the technology to materials that they need. So if they're on a subject, is that right? You coordinate the technology to go with that subject, or right? Very good. And the lovely Jo Riddle, and she is in the Student Learning Center, which is for grades 9 through 12. Is that right, Jo? And what this is a success center where she helps people learn good habits and work and things like that. Is that right? And the greatest thing about this team is that each of them is really something else. Jo is really an English teacher, although that's not what she does. Joanne Belknap is really a librarian, which she formerly did. And Christine Allgood is really a Spanish and art teacher. So we have these multiple personalities here. And we're happy to have you, and spell away.
Okay, your word is cataclysm. Flood, deluge, catastrophe. There was cataclysm after last year's tornado. Cataclysm.
Cataclysm. C-A-T-A-C-L-Y-S-M. Cataclysm. I was waiting for the ding.
Correct.
Oh, that's good. And since that's a Regina team, I'm surprised they didn't accidentally spell catechism. But yeah, I was just waiting for that. The next team up is the Samuel Johnsonians, and they are their sponsors, which is Phelan, Tucker, Mullen, Walker, Tucker, Gelman, LLP, they've sponsored teams for 10 years. And oftentimes they themselves have spelled and with not great success. And I think, Todd, you helped put them together, and we have law students now instead of lawyers, and which were probably smarter than lawyers. And Todd, didn't you and Linda McGuire help put them together? Is that right?
Linda rounded them up.
Oh, great. Well, nobody better than Linda, that's for sure. And we have Lauren Gannon, who's in the middle. And she is, what year of law school are you?
I'm a first year.
First year. And this is her first year in the Iowa City Public Library spelling bee. But she was in the official state bee when she was in the 6th grade. And she says she does not remember what word she lost on. But my friend Joan Houghton, who I hope is watching, who was a speller in 1940, maybe 1942 from Red Oak, who went all the way to the National Spelling Bee and lost. She was so humiliated, and she remembers her word, I'll tell you that. Anyway, and so she's a law student. I asked what she didn't realize. She said, I'm a law student. Does that count as real life? And I don't think it gets any more real than that, actually. And she's known most for her incessant cupcake baking. In fact, she is called Queen Cupcake, which offended her at first, but now she considers it a high compliment. I am going to kneel down and bow to you because I am a well-known cupcake addict. So, and this team didn't know each other before they got together. You know, Linda put together people that didn't know each other. And then we have, I should have asked you how to pronounce it, is it Roshni Patel. And she is, she's involved in the, she became involved with the University of Iowa College of Law Citizen Lawyer Program, and which is a pro bono society. And this is her first year. She's a student. And she once was ranked 6th in the nation in fantasy bowling. Now, how do you fantasy bowl?
You pick players, and then you get points for how much TV time they get.
That is awesome. This is great. So we're thrilled to have you here. And our last person here is, you are Aaron Jennings. And Aaron, what about you?
I really debated about whether to tell everyone this, but I was in the 1999 National Spelling Bee.
Were you really? Oh, that's incredible.
For one round.
Right. You know what? It was the 1999 National Spelling Bee. That's great. So, daunting competition here. So, have it your first word.
Okay, the word is cognizant. Knowledgeable of something, especially through personal experience. She was cognizant of the difficulties in choosing this path. Cognizant.
Cognizant. Cognizant. Cognizant.
Excellent. Must be kind of a little daunting to have those guys be the judges, right?
I don't have it.
Oh, you're good. That's good. All right. The next team to come up are the trustee spellers. And the trustee spellers, of course, are formed by they're sponsored by the library trustees, and they're often comprised of the trustees, and they have been involved in the spelling bee for 13 years, and many of them have helped in so many ways with the spelling bee. Thomas Dean. Tom Dean is on the left, and he is, his moment of glory was that he served as a team member on the one-time only Scorton Spellers in 2004. And they lost because President Scorton wouldn't listen to Tom regarding how to spell septendecimal. So look at where David is today, and Tom, you're here. So, I'd say you're in a better place. He since that fateful Scorton Speller debacle in 2004, he has served each year on the trustee spellers, with the exception of last year because he had a prior engagement. So we're glad to have you back, Tom. And Tom has, I have to read this because it's so impressive about him. He has a wonderful family and a wife and 2 children, Sylvia 13 and Nathaniel 17. Anybody who can survive that is good. They spend a lot of time going to their various music concerts and shuttling to rehearsal and lessons. He's special assistant to the president for communications and research at the University of Iowa, which is speech writing and editing and other writing. And he's on his 5th president counting interims, and he started with Mary Sue Coleman. And so a lot of those words are Tom's that you're hearing, and but I shouldn't say that, so they won't call you, right? Yeah, or email. He also teaches interdisciplinary courses at the University of Iowa. He has, and I don't know if it's a conflict of interest or not, but he has a column, a monthly column in Little Village magazine, and he's had essays published in regional and national publications. And his first book of personal essays called Under a Midland Sky, published by Ice Cube Press in 2008. He's in his 7th year here with us. Seventh year on the board of trustees of the public library, currently serving his 2nd year as president. And he also serves on the board of Humanities Iowa. So this is a guy that really is doing a lot of stuff, and we're glad that you have the time to be here and to be on this team. Let's see, what else about you? Oh, well, some interesting things about him are that he has 4 greyhounds at home. Silent movie star, I'm fascinated by this. Silent movie star Lillian Gish sent him a letter. What did she write you?
I wrote her first.
Of course.
She told me about making Birth of a Nation.
Really? And she was really something in there. She had sisters like in the business too, right? And then when he was in high school, he lived 1 block away from, this is the most impressive, Rick Nielsen, drummer for Cheap Trick in Rockford, Illinois. So, no wonder this guy is here. This is a great team. And then we have John Kenyon, and John, who is always understated about himself. He's on the Board of Trustees of the Iowa City Public Library, and he is the representative on the Friends Board from the board. Is that right? And John's real job is the editor of the Corridor Business Journal, which is it's a multimedia organization, actually, and they do not only just the publication, and here I made a mistake, I said Little Village was the only media, but only grouped media team here. But they sponsor all sorts of events during the year, too, that are really great community events. Let's see, and he keeps agreeing to be on a team. I don't know, is it torture? Is that what self-torture? Is that what it's about? Anyway, this is a very involved man and a great asset to our community, so we're thrilled to have him. We also have Tom Jordan, who, Tom, you're returning, aren't you? And you were here last year and before, or? No, just last year. And he said that he got here because Patty made you spell. And he works in the library's circulation department, so, it's kind of hard to say no to that one. So we're thrilled to have you here, Tom, again, and spell away.
Okay, your word is suffrage. A short intercessory prayer, usually in a series. A vote given in deciding a controverted question or electing a person for an office or trust, or the right of voting, franchise, also the exercise of such right. There were strong opinions about the suffrage election for women. Suffrage.
Suffrage. SUFFRAGE. Suffrage.
Correct.
Very good. And our last but not least, we have the Webster's Collegiates, who are sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union, and they have spelled since 2002. They've been in every spelling bee except for 2008, and which I don't know what was happening then, but we'll excuse you for that. And we have Jean. Is it Nepper? Yeah, Nepper. Jean Nepper. And Jean is she directs the public relations program at the University of Iowa Community Credit Union. And she coerced and coddled both Edie and Mike into participating last year and again this year, which it means she sort of holds some influence over them. She is this. Every year we have some team that is just like physically daunting, and this is the team. And it's the team that exercises together and apart. Jean herself works out at CORE. She walks, she hikes. She's hoping to improve her golf game this summer. And I remember when we had Tanya Alford on one of the teams, and she was so kind of buff that I was afraid to say anything about her. But I think I might be able to take you on, Jean. They all have a lot of fun and work together. Then we have the telegenic Edie Fawcett Weaver, and we know a lot about Edie from the media. She's been a Channel 9 person, and she's a co-owner of Active Endeavors, and she is currently the What's your title technically, Edie?
Director of Business Development.
Director of Business Development for the University of Iowa Community Credit Union. And she was involved last year on the spelling bee. She was a new hire. She had no idea what she was getting her into, but she knew that if she didn't do it, she might not be a new hire anymore. And she's the one who had let me clued me in that they're definitely the most fit team of the group. They work out every day, and if the stars are aligned properly, it is possible for us not only to spell leprechaun, Mike, but to flex our muscles and actually lift a small sports car over our heads. And she wouldn't think about being in this spelling bee without the love of her teammates. That's so special. Edie, thanks. And then we have the indomitable, well, I guess he's domitable, Mike Young, who went out last year on the word leprechaun. And
That was in the first round. That was practice.
oh, okay, all right. And Mike has 4 million children who are watching right now. And if it isn't 4 million, it seems like 4 million, whatever. They're the most entertaining children on earth. And he is the Director of Wealth Management for the University of Iowa Community Credit Union. So welcome, and have it your first word.
Okay, your word is cultivator, an implement for loosening the soil while crops are growing. Sam was now old enough to handle the cultivator. Cultivator.
Leprechaun. I think so too. You want to spell it? There you go.
Cultivator, Cultivator, cultivator.
Very good, Edie. All right. So we're going to continue now, and we're just going to keep spelling through round one. We want the Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley, to come up. And
Do you want an audience word, Phil?
oh yeah, we should have an audience word. Are you ready, audience? Okay, here's your first audience word.
So, ready to write, audience. Your first word is kudzu, a fast-growing vine of the legume family. While not found in Iowa City, across much of the southeastern United States, kudzu is an invasive species. Kudzu.
Okay, what you do is you write it down. Joan is handing out cards, and then we'll ask you to pass the cards in at the end of when we get into the final rounds. All right, so a word for spellbound.
Okay, your word is dotage, a state or period of senile decay marked by decline of mental poise and alertness. In his dotage, my grandfather could no longer remember the names of his children. Dotage.
Dotage, D-O-T-A-G-E, dotage.
Correct. Very good. I'm going to have to remember that one. Thank you very much. Well done. Now the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis Club.
Okay. Your word is meridian, a great circle of the celestial sphere passing through its poles and the zenith of a given place. A great circle on the surface of the earth passing through the poles. The half of such a circle included between the poles. A meridian is an imaginary arc on the Earth's surface from the North Pole to the South Pole that connects all locations running along it with a given longitude. Meridian.
Meridia, not meridian.
N.
Thank you. Meridian, M-E-R-I-D-I-A-N, meridian.
Correct. Very good, Kathy. And I should add that these words were all put together by volunteers for the library. I mean, they spend many, many hundreds of hours putting together these words, and this person obviously liked meridian. So the next team up are the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Okay, your word is alkaloid. Any of numerous, usually colorless, complex, and bitter organic bases, as morphine or caffeine, containing nitrogen and usually oxygen, that occur especially in seed plants and are typically physiologically active. She was allergic to the alkaloid in codeine. Alkaloid.
Alkaloid, A-L-K-A-L-O-I-D.
L-O-I-D, alkaloid.
Correct.
Excellent. Way to go. Next up is La Keep de Rev, and they are sponsored by Pogo and Friends, the Dream Team.
Your word is topographic. Of, relating to, or concerned with topography. The students enjoyed creating topographic maps of school property. Topographic.
Topographic. Topographic. Topographic.
Correct.
Excellent. Thank you. Oops, I jumped you. Sorry, Shelley. And then we have the Little Village team, sponsored by Little Village.
Okay, your word is ancestral. Of, relating to, or inherited from an ancestor. They believed that her hair color was ancestral, inherited from her great-grandmother. Ancestral.
Isn't every woman's hair color ancestral?
Yeah.
Ancestral. A-N-C-E-S-T-R-A-L, ancestral.
Correct.
Very good. And the the Regina Queen Bees. Regina Queen Bees, all right. Sponsored by Regina, of course.
Your word is maestro. A master, usually in an art, especially an eminent composer, conductor, or teacher of music. Beethoven is considered a maestro of composition. Maestro.
Maestro. M-A-E-S-T-R-O. Maestro.
Correct.
Very good. Maestro Riley in the back is approving. There she is. All right, the Samuel Johnsonian, sponsored by Phelan Tucker Mullen Walker Tucker Gelman.
Okay, your word is domicile. A dwelling place, place of residence, home. The cottage had been Hilda's domicile for over 60 years. Domicile.
Domicile. D-O-M-I-C-I-L-E. Domicile.
Correct.
Excellent. All right. And we have the trustee spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Euthanasia. The act or practice of killing or permitting the death of the hopelessly sick or injured as persons or domestic animals in a relatively painless way for reasons of mercy. The politicians debated controversial legislation such as that pertaining to euthanasia. Euthanasia.
Euthanasia. E-U-T-H-A-N-A-S-I-A. Euthanasia.
Correct.
Very good. And Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Duplicitous. Deceptive in words or action. When Governor Sanford claimed to be hiking the Appalachian Trail, he was being duplicitous. Duplicitous.
Duplicitous. D-U-P-L-I-C-I-T-O-U-S. Duplicitous.
Correct.
That was really sort of the definition of duplicitous, wasn't it? The new Webster definition. All right, round 3 of round 1. And we'll start again with, and we had no mistakes this last time, we'll start again with Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley PC.
Okay, your word is titillating. Pleasingly stimulating or exciting. Many viewers find the Victoria's Secret fashion shows titillating. Titillating.
I can't say anything about that.
Titillating. T-I-T-I-L-L-A-T-I-N-G. Titillating.
Correct.
Very good. And it's nice to know that Victoria's Secret is keeping abreast of fashion. Sorry about that. We have the Keystone Hawaiians.
Okay. Your word is feign, to give a false appearance of. Each night when her mother looks in on her, the little girl feigns sleep, then goes back to reading. Feign.
Feign, F-E-I-G-N, feign.
Correct.
Very good. And we have the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Exaggeration, enlargement beyond bounds or the truth, overstatement. It is not an exaggeration to say that the spelling bee champion team is tops. Exaggeration.
Exaggeration. E-X-A-G-G-E-R-A-T-I-O-N. Exaggeration.
Correct.
Spelled like a spelling bee champ. We have L'Equipe de Rêve, or their dream team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Fugue, a musical composition in which one or two themes are repeated or imitated by successively entering voices. The concert included a fugue by Bach. Fugue.
Fugue, F-U-G-U-E, fugue.
Correct.
Good. So that's how you pronounce that word. All right. Little Village, sponsored by Little Village, starring Little Village. Sponsored by Anonymous, right, yeah.
The word is rutabaga, a turnip that usually produces a large yellowish root that is eaten as a vegetable. Who will eat this lovely rutabaga? Mother asked of her reluctant children. Rutabaga.
Rutabaga. R-U-T-A-B-A-G-A. Rutabaga.
Correct.
Excellent, excellent. And we have the Regina Queen Bees, sponsored by Regina High School.
Okay, your word is leprechaun.
Mike, where are you?
A mischievous elf of Irish folklore, usually believed to reveal the hiding place of treasure if caught. Do you believe in a leprechaun? Leprechaun.
Leprechaun. L-E-P-R-E-C-H-A-U-N. Leprechaun.
Correct.
Excellent. And we have the Samuel Johnsonian, sponsored by Phelan Tucker, Mullen, Walker, Tucker, Gelman.
Okay, the word is catalepsy, a seizure or abnormal condition characterized by postural rigidity and mental stupor. Catalepsy is a symptom of certain nervous disorders or conditions such as Parkinson's disease and epilepsy. Catalepsy.
Catalepsy. C-A-T-A-L-E-P-S-Y. Catalepsy.
Correct.
Excellent, excellent. We have the Trustees Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Sauerbraten, pot roasted beef marinated before cooking in vinegar with peppercorns, garlic, onion, and bay leaves. The family had sauerbraten for dinner at least once a month. Sauerbraten.
Sauerbraten. S-A-U-E-R-B-R-A-T-E-N. Sauerbraten.
Correct.
Very good, very good. And last but not least, the Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Okay, the word is aperture. An opening or open space, hole, the opening in a photographic lens that admits the light. Perhaps you should narrow your camera's aperture to produce the effect you want in that photograph. Aperture.
Aperture. A-B-E-R-T-U-R-E. Aperture. Oh.
Was that? And what is the correct spelling of the word?
The correct spelling is A-P-E-R-T-U-R-E.
She said P.
Okay, there we go. All right, well, but everybody made it through the first round, so we have 9 teams continuing. Congratulations. And an audience word? We need an audience word.
Joie de vivre, a delight in being alive. Joie de vivre is the French philosophy of life embraced by many library staff.
And we all have joie de vivre.
Joie de
here.
vivre.
That's right, very good, what a good word. I'm going to decide right now that the audience participation words are sponsored by the Quality Care Nature Company, both the lawn maintenance and the storage company, so since they are big sponsors of tonight. So that's the audience word. So we're ready for the real rounds now, and here we go. Now everybody's qualified. Bradley and Riley Spellbound, you might as well come up and get going. And this is where a missed word, is that right? A missed word puts you out.
Okay, the word is synapse, the point at which a nervous impulse passes from one neuron to another. Synapses allow nerve cells to talk to each other in the brain. Synapse.
Synapse, S-Y-N-A-P-S-E, synapse.
Correct.
Very good, Emily. Thank you. And then we have the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis Club.
Vellum. A fine-grained, unsplit lambskin, kidskin, or calfskin prepared especially for writing on or for binding books. A strong cream-colored paper. The book had vellum pages. Vellum.
Vellum. V-E-L-L-U-M. Vellum.
Correct.
Excellent, excellent. Way to go. All right, the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Oculus, a circular or oval window, a circular opening at the top of a dome. The home featured an oculus at the top of the third floor. Oculus.
Oculus. O-C-U-L-U-S. Oculus.
Correct.
Excellent. Thank you, Maeve. L'Equipe de Rêve, the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Jingoism. Extreme chauvinism or nationalism marked especially by a belligerent foreign policy. An accusation of jingoism is what the leaders hope to avoid. Jingoism.
Jingoism. J-I-N-G-O-I-S-M. Jingoism.
Correct.
Very good, very good. And Little Village, sponsored by Anonymous.
Cumulative. Made up of accumulated parts, increasing by successive additions. My cumulative grade point average isn't as high as I'd like it to be. Cumulative.
Cumulative. C-U-M-U-L-A-T-I-V-E. Cumulative.
Correct.
Very good. Mine wasn't as high as I'd like it would have been too. And then we have the Regina Queen Bees, sponsored by Regina High School.
Guillotine. A machine for beheading by means of a heavy blade that slides down in vertical guides. Many people died by the guillotine during the French Revolution.
Guillotine. G-U-I-L-L-O-T-I-N-E. Guillotine.
Correct.
Well done. And the Samuel Johnsonian, sponsored by Phelan Tucker Mullen Walker Tucker Gelman.
Okay, your word has two pronunciations, acumen and acumen, keenness and depth of perception, discernment or discrimination, especially in practical matters. Her driving skills showed a sharp acumen for direction. Acumen.
Acumen. A-C-U-M-E-N. Acumen.
Correct.
Really, you guys, you can actually think about the words if you want before you spell them. Very good. We have the trustee spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Furlough. A leave of absence from duty granted especially to a soldier. Also, a document authorizing such a leave of absence. The furlough was extended from 9 months to 1 year. Furlough.
Furlough. F-U-R-L-O-U-G-H. Furlough.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. All right. Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Okay. Delicatessen. A store where ready-to-eat foods, cooked meats, and prepared salads are sold. For lunch, she ran across the street to the delicatessen. Delicatessen.
They won't know this because they don't eat.
Edie, are you sure?
Delicatessen. Delicatesen. Delicatessen.
Correct.
Very good, Mike. All right. So should we have another Dean Moore and Quality Care, the Nature Company? Audience participation word?
Audience participation word is obstreperous, unruly, noisy, clamorous, or boisterous. No doubt, Bill was a very obstreperous child.
Me? I call it joie de vivre. All right. We're ready for round 3. We'll have Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley.
Ambulatory. Of, relating to, or adapted to walking. Also occurring during a walk. Moving from place to place. Itinerant. Capable of being altered. She described her interests in metaphysics as ambulatory. Ambulatory.
Ambulatory. Ambulatory. Ambulatory.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. All right, the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by Old Capitol Kiwanis Club.
Hierarchical. Of, relating to, or arranged according to ability or to economic, social, or professional standing. Many thought that the hierarchical pay scale was unfair. Hierarchical.
Hierarchical. Hierarchical. Did I get that? CIAL. Do I need to start over? HIERARCHICAL. Hierarchical.
Correct.
Very good, Gabby. Somehow when she pronounced every syllable of that word, I knew she was going to get it. All right, we have the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Obelisk. An upright, four-sided, usually monolithic pillar that gradually tapers as it rises and terminates in a pyramid. The obelisk memorializing war veterans stood in the town square. Obelisk.
Obelisk. OBELISK. Obelisk.
Correct.
Very good. We have L'Equipe de Rêve, or the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Badminton. A court game played with a light, long-handled racket and a shuttlecock volleyed over a net. They played a game of badminton in the courtyard. Badminton.
Badminton. BADMINTON. Badminton.
Correct.
Wow, that's great. I would have missed that one. And he laughs. All right, we have Little Village, sponsored by the lovely Anonymous.
Hydrangea. Any of a genus of mostly shrubs having opposite leaves and showy clusters of usually sterile white, pink, or bluish flowers. Hydrangea bushes are popular in Iowa. Hydrangea.
Hydrangea. HYDRANGEA. Hydrangea.
Correct.
The excitement in that spelling was just unbearable. All right, we have the Regina Queen Bees again, sponsored by Regina High School.
Vernissage. A private showing or preview of an art exhibition. Families of the artists were invited to attend the vernissage. Vernissage.
Vernissage. VERNISAGGE. Vernissage.
Oh.
The correct spelling is VERNISSAGE.
Oh, that was a really difficult word. No matter what You'll always be queen bees in our hearts here. Thank you, Regina Queen Bees. We have the Samuel Johnsonians, Phelan Tucker Mullen, Walker Tucker Mullen, no, Tucker Gelman. There we go, sponsors.
Legionnaire, a member of a legion. 40 years later, the Legionnaire could still fit into his uniform. Legionnaire.
Legionnaire, Legionnaire. Legionnaire.
Yeah, the correct spelling is Legionnaire.
We were debating about one or two N's. Nice job, so well done. And we have the trustee spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Ethereal, of or relating to the regions beyond the earth, celestial, heavenly, unworldly, spiritual. Her voice had an ethereal quality. Ethereal.
Ethereal. Ethereal. Ethereal.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. And then finally, Webster's Collegiates, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Chandelier, a branched, often ornate lighting fixture. Cleaning the chandelier was an all-morning job. Chandelier.
Chandelier, Chandelier, chandelier.
Correct.
Very good. All right. And so now we have Dean Moore and Quality Care, the Nature Company. Audience participation word.
Your word, audience, is pharmaceutical, pertaining to pharmacy or pharmacists. The pharmaceutical industry has done marketing directly to consumers, prompting library patrons to ask the information desk staff more questions about medicine side effects. Pharmaceutical.
All right, there you go, audience. Okay, now we've lost the Regina Queen Bees. Thank you very much, Regina, for being a part of it. And you were very good. And we've also lost the Samuel Johnsonians, the law students who we appreciate you being here and putting yourselves out. And we thank our sponsors, our friends at Phelan Tucker, Mullen, Walker, Tucker Gelman, and as much as I love those guys at that place, I'm glad not to have to pronounce that again. Say that again. And so we're on round 4, and we're starting again with Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley.
Flagellation, the act of flagellating, whipping. Corporal punishment such as flagellation is now forbidden in most Western countries. Flagellation.
Flagellation. Flagellation. Flagellation.
Correct.
Very good. I would imagine there's a little flagellation going on, self-flagellation going on by the two dejected teams. We have the Keystone Kiwanians, Old Capitol Kiwanis Club sponsors.
Harangue, a speech addressed to a public assembly to make a ranting speech. Please do not harangue me on the folly of my ways. Harangue.
Harangue. Harangue. Harangue.
Correct.
Very good. And then next week, of course, we have the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Homogeneous, of the same or a similar kind or nature, of uniform structure or composition throughout. The arrival of the immigrants threatened the homogeneous neighborhood. Homogeneous.
Homogeneous. Homogeneous. Homogeneous.
Correct.
Very good. And Lakeith the Rev, ooh, a power outage. Were you that good? That's there we go. All right. So we have Lakeith the Rev, the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Radicchio, a variety of chicory originating in Italy, having a compact head of reddish white streaked leaves. Leaves and roots may be cooked or used raw in salads. She didn't really like salads made of radicchio. Radicchio.
Radicchio. Radicchio. Radicchio.
Correct.
Excellent. Finally, a word they had to actually think about. That's great. All right. We have Little Village, sponsored by the talented Anonymous.
Seismograph, an apparatus to measure and record vibrations within the earth and the ground. They measured the aftershocks of the earthquake with a seismograph. Seismograph.
Did anybody feel the earthquake the other morning?
Mm-mm.
Seismograph. Seismograph. Seismograph.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. And we have the Trustee Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Trustees.
This word has two pronunciations, repartee or repartee, a quick and witty reply. The famous orator always had a repartee on hand to answer any questions. Repartee.
Repartee. R-E-P-A-R-T-E-E. Repartee.
Correct.
Excellent. And the Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Treatise, a systematic exposition or argument in writing, including a methodical discussion of the facts and principles involved and conclusions reached. His dissertation was a kind of treatise on welfare reform. Treatise.
Treatise. Treatise. Treatise.
Correct.
Excellent. Time for another Dean Moore Quality Care, the Nature Company. Audience participation word.
Your word audience is gestalt, also pronounced gestalt, a form or configuration having properties that cannot be derived by the summation of its component parts. Gestalt is a psychology term which means unified whole. Gestalt. Jawohl.
Jawohl. Sehr gut. Buchstabieren Sie das.
We're waiting for a clue from you, Bill.
Oh, yeah, about,
Well, like what team?
what team? Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Bradley and Riley Spellbound.
He was thinking of German.
I was. Bradley und Riley Spellbound. Spellbound.
The word is nasturtium, any of a genus of herbs of Central and South America with snowy spurred flowers and pungent edible seeds and leaves. My favorite flower is the nasturtium. Nasturtium.
Nasturtium. Nasturtium. Nasturtium.
Correct.
Wow, that's great. All right, the Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis Club.
Assuage. To lessen the intensity of something that pains or distresses. She was unable to assuage his grief over the accidental death of his dog. Assuage.
Assuage. A-S-S-U-A-G-E. Assuage.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. All right, the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Okay, noumena. Posited objects or events as it appears in itself independent of perception by the senses. Kant is responsible for the term noumena. Noumena.
Noumena. Noumena. Noumena.
Correct.
That's great. All right, and L'Equipe de Rêve, the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Recusant. One who refuses to accept or obey established authority. The teenager rebelled and became a recusant. Recusant.
Recusant. R-E-C-U-S-A-N-T. Recusant.
Correct.
Very good. All right. Next is The Little Village, sponsored by the brilliant Anonymous.
Asynchronous. Not synchronous. Of, used in, or being digital communication as between computers, in which there is no timing requirement for transmission and in which the start of each character is individually signaled by the transmitting device. A group of people crossing a bridge must be sure that their walking is asynchronous, lest the bridge be damaged or destroyed. Asynchronous.
Asynchronous. ASYNCHRONOUS. Asynchronous.
Correct.
Excellent. Very good. And the Trustee Spellers, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Cantatrice or cantatrice. A woman who is a singer, especially an opera singer. She was a talented cantatrice. Cantatrice.
Contratrice. C-O-N-T-R-A-T-R-I-C-E. Contratrice.
Oh.
Oh, so sorry. It's C-A-N-T-A-T-R-I-C-E.
Oh, nice
Sorry,
job.
that's a
Very
tough
good,
one.
Trustee Spellers. What a hard word.
Yeah.
Give us an easy one. Give us an easy one.
Webster's Collegiates, wanting an easy word. Yeah, Leprechaun. University of Iowa Community Credit Union. I think you studied.
Okay. The word is winds. A vertical or inclined mine shaft driven downward into ore-bearing rock. The winds is in danger of collapse. Winds.
Winds. W-I-N-Z-E. Winds.
Correct.
Very good. All right. And so we need another Dean Moore Quality Care, the Nature Company, audience participation word.
Your word is yarmulke, also pronounced yarmulke. A skullcap worn especially by Orthodox and conservative Jewish males in the synagogue and the home. David wore his yarmulke as he entered the synagogue and left it on during his visit to the Iowa Public Library.
Very good.
Yarmulke.
All right, so we've lost the Trustee Spellers. Thank you, Trustee Spellers, and sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees, without whom the library couldn't function. So we're very grateful to you, and nice job. And so we'll start again, round 6 with Bradley and Riley Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley.
Yeoman, one that performs great and loyal service. She did a yeoman's job in seeing the program through to completion. Yeoman.
Yeoman. Y-E-O-M-A-N. Yeoman.
Correct.
Very good. And we have the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Kiwanis Club, Old Capitol.
Reviviscence. An act of reviving, the state of being revived. After his nap, he experienced an emphatic reviviscence. Reviviscence.
That's what Susan did to me when I was spacing out there after the audience word.
Reviviscence. R-E-V-I. V-I. C-E-N-S-E. Reviviscence. Oh, what did I do wrong?
I had it perfect. The correct spelling is Reviviscence.
Oh, nice job, nice try. Thank you so much. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Sorry.
Two possible pronunciations of this word, chiffonade and chiffonade. Shredded or finely cut vegetables or herbs used especially as a garnish. The cook quickly made a chiffonade of the fresh basil leaves and added it to the salad. Chiffonade.
Chiffonade. I'll start again. Chiffonade. Chiffonade. Chiffonade.
Correct.
Very good, very good. Yeah. And we have L'Equipe de Rev, sponsored by Pogo in front.
Okay, the word is rigmarole. Confused or meaningless talk. There was a lot of political rigmarole concerning education policy at the debate. Rigmarole.
Rigmarole. R-I-G-M-A-R-O-L-E. Rigmarole.
Correct.
Excellent, excellent. All right, we have Little Village, sponsored by the Exuberant Anonymous.
Oscillation, variation, fluctuation. She was hoping to buy a fan with a smoother oscillation. Oscillation.
Oscillation. O-S-C-I-L-L-A-T-I-O-N. Oscillation.
Correct.
Very good. And we have Webster's Collegiates, who now have to walk all the way across the room here, sponsored by University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Okay, the word is cardamom. The aromatic capsular fruit of the ginger family with seeds used as a spice or condiment and in medicine. The secret ingredient in the recipe was cardamom. Cardamom.
Can you repeat the pronunciation?
Yeah, cardamom.
You need to start spelling. Cardamom. C-A-R-D-A-M-O-M. Cardamom.
Correct.
Wow, excellent. Excellent. Wow, eating. That's good. All right, so we're at the end of another round, and
How would that be?
we have lost the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Cabot Kiwanis, and we are grateful to them for all their years of support. And we have and we now need a Dean Moore Quality Care, the Nature Company audience participation word.
Superfluous, exceeding what is sufficient or necessary. The pecan pie was superfluous at the library staff potluck Thanksgiving dinner, since we also had an apple pie. Superfluous.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bradley and Riley Spellbaum.
Okay, the word is saccade. A small, rapid, jerky movement of the eye, especially as it jumps from fixation on one point to another, as in reading. The saccade of his eye across the page suggested that the design was successful. Saccade.
Saccade. Saccade. Saccade.
Correct.
Very good. Wow, that was good. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Ikebana, the Japanese art of flower arranging that emphasizes form and balance. Her interest in Japanese art inspired her admiration for ikebana. Ikebana.
Ikebana. Ikebana. Ikebana.
Correct.
Excellent. Of course, we all knew that one. L'Equipe de Rêve, the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Cephalopod, a class of mollusk having tentacles attached to the head, including the cuttlefish, squid, and octopus. Captain Nemo had his hands full when the giant cephalopod attacked the Nautilus. Cephalopod.
Just saying that the other day.
Cephalopod. Cephalopod. Cephalopod.
Correct.
Oh. They make it sound so easy. And we have Little Village over there, sponsored by the...
Athletically gifted.
Yeah, that's right, Anonymous.
Effervescent.
Effervescent Anonymous, there we go.
Homopteron. Any of an order or suborder of insects as cicadas and aphids that have sucking mouth parts. The aphid is a homopteron. Homopteron.
Of course.
Homopteron. Homopteron. Homopteron.
So sorry. It's A-N. Homopteran.
Oh, of course.
Good job.
Way to go, Little Village. Way to stay in there. And then we have Webster's Collegiates.
Bill, can I go ahead and appeal to her kindness?
No, Mike, sorry.
We have absolutely no business still being.
Are
I'm
you
gonna
trying?
go ahead and say that on the record. Sorry, all you viewers at home. And kids.
Well, how about schnitzel?
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
A seasoned and garnished veal cutlet. As a vegetarian, she could not eat the schnitzel. Schnitzel.
Okay.
Schnitzel. Schnitzel. Schnitzel.
Correct.
Yeah, very good. And I can safely say that Ben und ich habe Schnitzel haben.
Hey, you're
Schnitzel
welcome.
gern.
You did a good job.
All right, so we are done now on round 8. We need another Dean Moore. Actually, we need another Quality Care Nature Company and Storage Company audience participation word.
Photomontage. Montage using photographic images, also a picture made by photomontage. The library director's photomontage included all of her children and grandchildren.
So nice. I'm not going to space out this time, but I was going to just so I could say, please do not harangue me on the folly of my ways, which I love that for the harangue. All right,
Yeah.
round 8 begins with Bradley and Riley Spellbound.
Okay. Blamable. Deserving blame. The boys who broke the window were blamable. Blamable.
Blamable. B-L-A-M-A-B-L-E. Blamable.
Correct.
Very good. All right, next is Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Tetracycline. A yellow crystalline broad-spectrum antibiotic, also any of several chemically related antibiotics, such as doxycycline. The discovery of tetracycline played a large role in the modern development of antibiotics. Tetracycline.
Tetracycline. Tetracycline. Tetracycline.
Correct.
Very good. And L'Equipe de Rêve, the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Compressible, capable of being compressed. The fruit was easily compressible. Compressible.
Compressible. Compressible. Compressible.
Correct.
Wow. Outstanding. That's very, very good. As they said, teamwork makes the dream work. Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Plebiscite, a vote by which the people of an entire country or district express an opinion for or against a proposal, especially on a choice of government or ruler. The king banned a plebiscite on democracy. Plebiscite.
Mike looking very smug over there.
Bill, if this is the end. I'm sorry to bow out. Plebiscite. Plebiscite. Plebiscite.
Correct.
Whoa, there you go, Mike. What a liar. Okay. I forgot to mention last time that thanks to the Little Village team and whoever Anonymous is, we are grateful to you and thrilled and hope you're watching. Anyway, all right, so we're ready for another Quality Care Nature Company and Storage Company audience participation award.
How about rhinoceros? Any of several large, thick-skinned mammals of the family Rhinocerotidae of Africa and India, with one or two upright horns on the snout. After checking out a library book about animals not found in Iowa, whenever she went to the zoo, her first stop was the rhinoceros exhibit. Rhinoceros. Bill,
All
over
right.
to you.
Oh, please, yeah, I was going to say, all right, please don't harangue me on the folly of all right, we're ready for Bradley and Riley's Spellbound, sponsored by Bradley and Riley.
Bosun, a petty officer on a merchant ship having charge of hull maintenance and related work. Organizing the loading and unloading of freight is a task of the bosun on a modern cargo ship. Bosun.
Bosun, Boatswain, bosun.
Correct.
Wow. Woo, surprise spelling. And next we have Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Colliginous, dark, misty, and gloomy. There was a colliginous atmosphere the night of the car crash. Colliginous.
Colliginous. Colliginous. Colliginous.
Correct.
Great. You think Denny could have spelled that word, Edie? All right, next we have L'Equipe de Rêve, the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Xerophilus, adapted to a dry environment. The cactus is a xerophilus plant. Xerophilus.
Xerophilus. Xerophilous. Xerophilus.
Correct.
And you think they were spelling, they were sitting up here talking about what they're doing after the spelling bee. And we have Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the credit union.
Sirac.
Can we take a break?
No, you can't, Mike.
Sirac, a pinnacle, sharp ridge, or block of ice among the crevices of a glacier. The serac was visible from the deck of the ship. Serac.
Can we ask for one more pronunciation?
Serac.
You have to start.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. I don't know, I spoke last time though. Can I spell again?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes? No? Okay, you go ahead.
Oh.
Just, whatever, we'll accept that.
So what do I think?
Okay. Serac.
Chop liver.
C-E-R-E-C. Serac.
Sorry, it's S-E-R-A-C.
Oh,
Thank you.
nice job of hanging in there. Thank you, Webster's Collegiates, and thank you, Kirkwood Community College, and thanks for your long-term sponsorship and I'm Kirkwood Community College. I'm City Community Credit Union, and I'm glad you're not going to beat me up. It looks like they're leaving. That's good. Those exercisers. All right, we have our very last quality care nature company and storage company audience participation word.
Final word is idyllic, pleasing or picturesque in natural simplicity. The library book said that the English landscapes are known for being idyllic. Idyllic.
What a lovely word to end with, the audience words. And then when you're done, you're going to pass your sheets over to the center where Joan Burns will pick them up from you. And audience, so good luck to you. And we're going to start round 10 with 3 teams. And we'll start with the Bradley and Riley Spellbound.
Okay, the word is vermiculite. Any of various micaceous minerals that are hydrous silicates, resulting usually from expansion of the granules of mica at high temperatures to give a lightweight, highly water-absorbent material. He needed to stop by the nursery to pick up some vermiculite. Vermiculite.
Vermiculite. V-E-R-M-I-C-U-L-I-T-E. Vermiculite.
Correct.
Very good. All right. The Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Synecdoche. A figure of speech by which a part is put for the whole, as 50 sail for 50 ships. The whole for a part, as society for high society. The species for the genus, as cutthroat for assassin. The genus for the species or the name of the material for the thing made. Her wit was rife with synecdoche. Synecdoche.
Synecdoche. S-Y-N-E-C-D-O-C-H-E. Synecdoche.
Correct.
Hey, whoa. All right. And we have L'Equipe de Rel.
Okay. Isodiametric. Having equal diameters. The circles were isodiametric. Isodiametric.
Isodiametric. I-S-O-D-I-A-M-E-T-R-I-C. Isodiametric.
Correct.
Excellent. All right. Round 12. And we start with Bradley and Riley, Spellbound.
We're given 2 pronunciations for this word, octavo or octavo. The size of a piece of paper cut 8 from a sheet, a book, a page, or paper of this size. The paperback was an octavo-sized book. Octavo.
Octavo. O-C-T-A-V-O. Octavo.
Correct.
Excellent. All right, and then we have Kirkwood Killer Bees next.
Okay, Macropterus. Having long or large wings. She imagined she was a magical fairy with ornate Macropterus wings. Macropterus.
Macropterus. Macropterous. Macropterus.
Correct.
And L'Équipe the Dream Team, sponsored by Pogo.
Rhododendron, a genus of widely cultivated shrubs and trees of the heath family with alternate leaves and showy flowers, especially one with leathery evergreen leaves as distinguished from a deciduous azalea. The landscape architect planted some rhododendron trees near the entrance to the building. Rhododendron.
Rhododendron. RHODODENDRON. Rhododendron.
Correct.
Outstanding. So still with 3 teams remaining. Round 13, Bradley and Riley, Spellbound.
Zarzuela, a usually comic Spanish operetta. While in Madrid, they got tickets for a zarzuela. Zarzuela.
Zarzuela, Zarzuela. Zarzuela.
Correct.
Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Lexicographer, an author or editor of a dictionary. Maeve had always dreamed of being a lexicographer. Lexicographer.
But instead, she's a Foley artist.
Lexicographer. LEXICOGRAPHER. Lexicographer.
Correct.
Excellent. And L'Équipe the Dream Team.
Okay. Mandamus, a writ issued by a superior court commanding the performance of a specified official act or duty. The lawyer submitted a petition for a writ of mandamus. Mandamus.
Should we have Todd and Shelley spell that word? You could do it? I bet you could.
You have the answer right here.
Mandamus. MANDAOUS. No, start over. Mandamus. MANDAMOS. Mandamus.
Such a shame. MANDAMUS.
U.S. Oh, outstanding job.
Outstanding.
Way to go. High school seniors. High school seniors, if you ever doubt City High, the quality of City High, look at these 3. That's just outstanding. Congratulations, and thanks to the generosity of Pogo, an 8-year sponsor of the Spelling Bee and spelling teams. Now we're down to 2, and I need to read Rule 10. But do we want to announce the Quality Care audience participation winner?
And who is that sponsor again, Bill?
It's Quality Care, Dean Moore, Quality Care, the Nature Company,
Gosh,
and
what a-
Storage Company.
They're almost as cool as you, huh?
Almost.
Okay. Wow, this is exciting. This evening, we have 2 audience spell winners.
All right.
P. Soman. Hi.
Oh.
Come on down.
Come on down.
And someone near and dear to our library heart, Lindsay McCrae of the Library Board of Trustees.
All right. That's good. Yeah. No ordinary people on the trustees here. Very good. Congratulations. And these people receive, they receive gift certificates from Prairie Lights. So we have Prairie Lights to thank. All right. Spelling Bee Rule 10. Oh, photo opportunity. Okay, Rule 10. Do you read or I read? Please, since you're the judge, yes.
So, first of all, are you passing out new guides?
I will be as
To
soon
us,
as you
yeah,
tell
okay,
me,
yeah.
sir.
Okay. So, we're gonna have a new word list, okay? When a team misspells a word, the other team shall be given the opportunity to spell the very same word. If the second team spells that word correctly, plus the next word on the pronouncer's list, that team shall be declared the winner.
If one of the last two teams misses and the other team, after correcting the error, misspells the new word, then the misspelled new word shall be referred to the first team. If that team succeeds in correcting the error and then correctly spells the next word on the pronouncer's list, that team shall be declared the winner.
But if both teams misspell the word, both shall continue in the contest, and the team that first misspelled the word shall be given a new word to spell. The competition shall continue as in 10A and 10B, which are the two rules we mentioned earlier.
So, in other words, these are words that you have never seen before, and if one team misspells, the other team has to spell correctly and then spell another word. So it sort of goes back and forth until we get somebody to spell two words in a row, and that's the winner. So we've got Kirkwood Killer Bees, and we've got Bradley and Riley Spellbound. We have defending champions, and we've got these aggressive Bradley and Riley Spellbound people, and Bradley and Riley get going.
Extirpate. To destroy completely, wipe out, to pull up by the root. It was difficult to extirpate the weeds around the peonies. Extirpate.
Extirpate. E-X-T-I-R-P-A-T-E. Extirpate.
Correct?
Very good.
Okay.
And now Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Stalactite. A deposit of calcium carbonate resembling an icicle hanging from the roof of a cave. When spelunking in cold water cave, wear a helmet to avoid crashing into a stalactite. Stalactite.
Stalactite. S-T-A-L-A-C-T-I-T-E. Stalactite.
Correct.
Very good. Back to the Bradley and Riley Spellbound.
Phylloxera. Any of several plant lice that produces galls on leaves and roots of grapevines. The vineyard was devastated by an infestation of phylloxera. Phylloxera.
Can we have the pronunciation one more time, please?
Would you like pronunciation? Sure. Phylloxera.
Phylloxera. P-H-Y-L-L-O-X-E-R-A. Phylloxera.
Correct.
Wow. Yeah, incredible. Okay, Kirkwood Killer Bees, your turn.
Okay, the next word is ouzel. Blackbird. The ouzel was the only bird left on the bird watcher's life list. Ouzel.
Got a little oogly going on there with Betsy Boyd and Amy Canellis, our biggest fans.
You need to start spelling.
Ouzel, O-U-S-E-L, ouzel.
Okay, now Bradley.
Wait a minute.
So Bradley and Riley gets a chance to spell this word, and then if they get it correct, then they have to spell another word to win.
Ouzel. O-U-Z-E-L. Ouzel.
Correct.
All right, now Bradley and Riley gets a new word, and if they get this new word, they win the spelling bee, and if they don't get this new word, then it's bounced back over to Kirkwood Killer Bees, to the defending champions.
Wildebeest. Either of two large African antelopes with a head like that of an ox and horns in both sexes that curved downward and outward. Spotting the wildebeest was the highlight of the safari. Wildebeest.
wildebeest. Wildebeest. 2 E's. I spell it. Wildebeest. Wildebeest.
We have a champion.
We do.
All right, congratulations. Oh, congratulations. Right. And way to go. And Don Thompson should be very happy about this. Look at the gracious. All right.
Congratulations.
All right, I want to thank you. Don, are you happy? Don Thompson is texting everybody right now. His firm. Anyway, congratulations, both teams. You're outstanding, and I want to thank again our many sponsors of the Spelling Bee. I want to thank Hans Jewelers. I want to thank Quality Care. I want to thank Ann Nusser Rizzo on behalf of William and Margaret Nusser. I want to thank Prairie Lights. I want to thank the Bookend and the Iowa City Public Library, all the people who were involved and the individual team sponsors, all the people who did the words, and pardon me? Oh, and City Ballet for the balloons, who had a performance in here and allowed us to use them. So thank you, everybody. Stick around for photos and with the trophy.
Great job.